welcome to the fastest growing podcast on YouTube, the Who Suggested This podcast, hosted by Drake and Dakota. I am Drake.
I'm Dakota.
And we're hosting the podcast called Who Suggested This. I think I said that right. Did I do the hot podcast intro? Like the sweeping, like the hoof, here we are, podcast. That's what I'm trying to do.
You tell us, audience.
What do you think? Did I nail it or did I did? I
think I nailed it.
You nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
Someone nailed it.
It was me.
Who Suggested This podcast officially nailed. This week, we watched The Last Dragon. Not to be confused with the Disney version, which came out recently. No, this one, 1985, The Last Dragon.
Yeah.
Slightly different. Not sure why it's called that.
They didn't explain it at all.
Unexplained. But solid.
Well,
attempt.
okay, I think like in the way Samurai Cop explained why he was a samurai.
Well, no, hold on. Because that man was fluent in both English and Japanese. Okay? He was... Okay, now in this one, there's no dragons. It's just kung fu. They didn't say the last kung fu.
He was the dragon blood.
No.
I think I'm filling in some gaps here.
You might be filling in some gaps. We start off with your boy, Bruce Leroy.
So the movie is following the young kung fu kid
protege,
Bruce Leroy.
Bruce Leroy.
And Bruce Lee is, in fact, in this, what do we call it?
Movie.
No, not movie. I'm thinking like universe. In this universe, Bruce Lee is a real person.
Look, no. This universe is this universe. Okay? This world is very real.
You don't know that since Marvel.
Especially towards the end of the film. It gets very real.
Oh, it's very real. I think this is set in the future. It's got to be. With all these futuristic outfits and looks.
Maybe 1988. The future.
Yes. It's what they wanted the future to look like.
And boy, oh boy.
Unfortunately, the future is speaking, and we saw that, and we said no thank you. Which is why that's not a thing.
Pass.
Hard pass.
Like I like what you're doing. But also maybe let's try something different.
I like the enthusiasm.
We've already explored that, and let's try to explore something a little different.
I want to explore over there.
Yeah, we like that, and that's an option. It's a fallback. That's a solid fallback.
Honey, thank you. But we'll give you a call. We'll keep in touch.
Yeah, don't call us. We'll call you.
So Bruce Leroy, what's he doing? Who is he?
Well, let me tell you, he's doing some kung fu on some dummies. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
He's doing some kung fu on some dummies while his instructor is firing arrows in his vicinity.
How is this safe?
He karate chops one arrow straight out of the air.
He sure does.
And then catches the next one. And his sensei, he asks him, he goes, "How did you know that it was the blue one?" To which Bruce Leroy responds, "Was I not supposed to catch the blue one? Did I screw it up? Did I fail?" And he gets on his knees and he starts to apologize. And his sensei goes, "You've seen too many movies where at the slightest hint of failure, you get on your knees and apologize. You are amazing, and you've learned all I can teach you. You're ready to ascend to the next level, but I can't take you there. Take this medallion and go out and seek the master." And he gives him some name of a master.
Yeah, he's like, "You need to find the master.
You need to find the master. But that's not me. Here's a medallion. Give this to the master, and then you will be able to ascend to the final level." He's trying to get up here.
Black belt.
Let me tell you, Bruce Leroy has a deep personality. There's a lot of facets to this kid, okay? First off, he knows karate.
And?
Okay, so he knows karate.
Yeah, we did that one.
Okay. He comes from a black family.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Cool.
They run a pizza shop.
Okay.
Okay, that's not about him. Sorry. Let me redirect. He has a younger brother. Okay, also not about him.
So
He knows karate.
he's a black kid that knows karate. He's okay. Let's place an age on this kid. We think he's about 19.
19. He's 19. Definitively 19.
Did they say 19?
Nope.
Okay. I think that's a very, very good guess, though, because he acts like a teenager.
Child. Oh.
Yeah, child is more accurate.
He
Okay.
certainly acts younger than his brother, who has to be 12.
But that kid is like, his whole thing is to be like big and bad and an adult and like
We're talking
get bitches.
We're talking about his 12-year-old brother here.
Yeah, so he's acting above his age. The other kid's just like,
I know karate.
there's nothing else that you need to know about me. Like his family. He's from New York City, Harlem. Is that California? Where's Harlem?
That's California.
What did that guy say he was from though? He was the
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it was just that guy's
No, wait,
fault.
is that Compton?
Compton is
idiots.
California.
We're about to look like idiots.
No, Harlem's New York.
Harlem's New York.
Compton's
Yes.
California.
Correct.
Um,
He is the Harlem
if we're wrong,
Shogun.
no, we're not.
Shogun of Harlem.
Yes, so it's in Harlem. Anyway, so his family is like doing like the typical like, oh, people didn't think we could own a pizza shop, brother. And then he's like, I do not know how to do this.
I do not know pizza. I am in harmony with my feng shui.
I don't even think his Asian kung fu master spoke as proper like as
Nope.
I think even he had some swag to him.
Let's rewind a couple of episodes. Let's go back to before YouTube,
Okay.
to the before times,
Okay.
when Will Ferrell played a straight man and used no contractions.
That was him. That's Bruce Leroy.
Same shit.
Same exact shit.
Same shit. Only this one's not a comedian doing it. It's a kid who can't act.
But he knows kung fu, so nothing matters.
Right. He knows kung fu. So let's dive into this a little bit. The master, his previous master, his sensei, tells him that he needs to go out and find a different master. He gives him a medallion. Then we cut to some hot new radio DJ on the television. Okay, she's doing a show. Okay, and there's a tiny George Costanza, and when I say tiny George Costanza, I mean like thin, like he's like George Costanza except a rail. But other than that, same guy.
George Costanza with a cocaine addiction.
Cocaine George Costanza sends some goons from the office to go and attack hot radio DJ, who's got so much feather in her hair that I don't even know what to do.
I'm so upset I did not do that for this.
Yeah, I don't even think she can. Calling her out right here.
Give me a comb. I got this.
She can't. No one can feather that much without like an entire staff.
No, you'd have to have a mullet.
You gotta
be able to.
You gotta have like several bottles of hairspray.
Yeah.
And an entire staff, and they show that because every time she's not like on air, she's got people just like doing
fluffing
her hair, fluffing her up. But you know, she does her show, she leaves, she goes to get in a car with her driver. Her driver set her up. Okay. Her driver set her up, dropped her off with George Costanza's goons, and they start to like. And you'd think I'd say something inappropriate here due to my pausing, but they just try to like grab her and put her in a different car.
If the driver was in on it, why didn't they just drive her to the location?
You're thinking too much. So he hands her off to the goons, and at this time, Bruce Leroy shows up.
I like we're making it fancier, Leroy.
Yeah, Bruce Leroy. He's here now, and he does kung fu.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
He does kung fu at the bad gentleman. And at this point, what is Fluffy Hair's name?
Gosh.
I got no idea.
We'll find out later.
Yeah, we'll find out later. But Fluffy Hair, she sploosh. Okay, she's way.
Laura Charles
is way into Bruce Leroy. Okay.
Oh, she makes it so clear.
And she seems like she's about 30. So this is weird to begin with.
Okay. I want to say that she looks early 20s-ish, but it's her profession and the fact that she's got a whole entourage.
And how like put together
she is. So she seems way older than this like juvenile kung fu kid.
I know karate.
And she's just like licking her lips, looking him up and down like she wants the snack.
Yep.
that he is packing.
Trying to eat that bitch.
And he's so oblivious. He's like, what? I don't know these things.
So he kung fu's all the goons, and then runs off like gone.
Batman.
He hails her a cab. The cab driver pulls up while she puts all of her shit back in her purse. She looks up. He's gone. She looks at the cab driver. She goes, "Did you see where he went?" And the cab driver's like, "Yeah, he's right. Are you gonna get in or what?"
Yeah, he's right. Ooh.
You getting in? This is fair time for me. I'm trying to run a business here.
All these kids ruining a hardworking man's day.
So she gets in the cab, but as she's getting in the door, she finds his medallion that he's supposed to take to his new master, and she picks it up and she puts it in her purse. Fast forward to the next day, I guess, where he is finding his inner peace on the roof while realizing that he doesn't have his medallion. His dad calls him down for breakfast. Then his brother calls him down for breakfast. And then he comes down for breakfast and his brother's being a young thug.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
But
he's a jive kid.
There's a contest that plays a very small role in the beginning of this film and then is immediately forgotten, where whoever wins this dance competition gets to go on a date with
Laura.
Fluffy hair.
Yeah.
Maybe Laura.
Fluff Magoo.
Fluffer.
Fluffertons.
Feather Lady. They get to go on a date with Feather Lady. 12-year-old brother, very into this idea.
Oh, he's very into her.
Sees her pop up on the TV. He goes, "That's my girl."
He knows more about sex than his older brother does.
Kung Fu brother sees her on the TV and he goes, "I would very much like to meet her again." And so, they're talking. He's like, "You wouldn't know what to do with her if you got her," says the 12-year-old. This movie's fucking weird.
This is very weird.
"You wouldn't know what to do with her if you got her." But he's like, "I think I would very much like to meet this woman one
How
more time."
polite is he?
Because, she got his medallion, or at least he's hoping, because he went back and he looked on the sidewalk and he couldn't find it. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
No.
Nope, not doing that again.
Never would. So he goes back down there. He's looking. He can't find anything. His brother agrees to take him to the dance off. Okay, they go and they start to get in the line. He's like, "Are you going to pay for a ticket for the line, younger sibling?" And his brother's like, "I ain't never pay for that kind of shit." And he's like, Come around here, but don't forget, if anyone asks you," and then they both say together, "You are my brother." So they go around to the side door. The little brother starts knocking. He's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go around. Obviously, this sound entrance thing isn't working. I'm gonna get us in." So he goes around to a different door. Meanwhile, we see some of George Costanza's goons showing up and going through the sound door while his brother sits on a box, like waiting for his 12-year-old brother to get him into the dance competition for free.
And out comes Fluffy
Feather.
Oh,
Whatever her name is, it doesn't matter. Fluffy Feather. Old Fluffy Feather comes out through the door and she's like, "I don't understand why we haven't done this sound check already, and why do we have to do it in your nondescript van?" And then she gets shoved into the van. The doors get shut, and then he goes, "That was the woman that I'm here to see."
and they're at it again.
And he starts to. He's going to chase it down. He's going to chase it. And then the van takes off at a very rapid pace, and he's nowhere near catching up to it.
He caught up with the car at the beginning.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why he can't keep up with this van.
He didn't stretch.
Oh, okay. He's not ready.
He was winded.
So then what happens?
Is that a real question? Because I don't remember.
Shit.
You've got notes on this part.
No, I didn't.
You did. You didn't even grab them?
Because I know I didn't take a lot of notes.
Oh, fair enough. Hold on. I get us there.
Is that when we meet Harlem?
Oh, man.
Sho'nuff?
We skipped that already.
Oh, did we?
I mean, I feel like he was watching the movie after, like, he talked to his professor, and this is like where we were introduced to his brother.
Can we go back? Because that was actually a great scene.
Yeah, no. We could definitely go
to scooch a little back because we missed the introduction of a character. So after he was talking to his master, we got this scene that doesn't make any sense.
Well, no, it makes a lot of sense because he has on a hat.
No.
He has on a rice patty hat. He's got on a rice patty hat. Dakota's gonna knock her face off with this microphone, so you let her deal with her shit. He's got on a rice patty hat, and he goes to the movies to watch some Bruce Lee. Some people decide to put down a jukebox, and they're having a little dance off, and some other guy stomps on the jukebox because that is what the fuck did you do? That is a disrespectful thing to do during the movies. So the jukebox gets stomped on.
It is very disrespectful because they came in playing music, dancing in the aisles, and I'm sorry, I'm glad that they stomped it out.
Yeah, agreed.
That's so bullshit.
Agreed.
Fucking bullshit.
That's bullshit.
And then they're like, well, why'd you break our boom box, bro?
It is about this time that a new character arrives on the scene with entourage.
The meanest?
Sho'nuff.
Am I the prettiest?
Sho'nuff.
Am I the baddest mofo low down around this town?
Sho'nuff.
Well, who am I?
Sho'nuff.
I can't hear you.
Sho'nuff.
Shogun of Harlem.
He wants everyone to know that Sho'nuff, his name is Sho, first name Sho, last name Nuff,
Yes.
is the Shogun of Harlem. He's the Harlem Shogun. So
I don't know what that means.
that means he's watched a fuck ton of Naruto is what it means. That's a Hokage. That's different.
Okay. When he comes.
He comes in and he's the Shogun of Harlem, okay? And he comes in and decides to karate fight everyone who is upset about him interrupting a film, a Bruce Lee film.
Like, huh?
He's very upset about anyone who's upset with him for interrupting a Bruce Lee film. Very upset. Not a happy man.
I'm coming in here loud with my goons. And if you got a problem with it, even though you paid to be in this movie theater to view this feature film, y'all gonna have to fight me. So he gets up on the front stage and just starts fighting everybody that comes up until
He points out a man in the audience who's got a hat on, rice patty hat, and he's like, "You boy, you the one. I can tell right now you got kung fu in you." He calls out Bruce Leroy. I feel like Bruce Leroy said something about like, "What you're doing is inappropriate, and I love kung fu."
yeah, probably. That sounds accurate. Sounds like something this wimpy ass boy would do.
But he's like, "But I will never fight you. Kung fu is the last resort. It's never a solution unless it has to be." And then, of course, the Shogun of Harlem be like, "Fight me! Fight me now!" And then he's like, "No, I won't." And he walks out a side door. And his little brother's like, "Yo, he's embarrassing me." "What you got all this kung fu for if you ain't gonna use it? What good is it? What good is kung fu if you ain't gonna pop a bitch?"
Yeah, yep.
From the 12-year-old.
I'd probably say the same thing.
Would you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's fair. I can't get over the fact that the entire personality of Bruce Leroy is, I know kung fu, I won't use it. Also, I'm very polite.
He's just a sweet little boy.
He's so innocent. He's so innocent to the ways of the world.
So I understand why we skipped that scene because it made zero sense.
Yeah.
Other than introducing Sho'nuff.
It introduces Sho'nuff, who has another one of those scenes, by the way. The next time we see him is whenever the brothers are opening the pizza shop or something, right? They're opening the pizza shop. No.
Well, the parents are.
Oh, no, they're running the pizza shop, and he comes in and just starts busting shit.
He's like, "Where's your son at?"
Where's your son?
Wait, did we get there though?
They got the same. It's like, where's Bruce Leroy? And he's like, I'm Bruce Leroy. And he's like, the Bruce Leroy I'm looking for, little fucker. And he's like, oh, you talking about Junior? And they all just start, we talking about Junior.
Yeah, that's what we're looking
That's
for.
The one.
We looking for Junior.
And then they just start breaking tables and shit.
You tell him we're looking for him.
You tell him we're looking for Junior.
And then they're just busting it up. And I think the mom's reaction was perfect.
Pretty spot on.
She was just throwing shit at them, trying to get them, like pizza dough, nothing like breakable, but she's like trying to throw shit at them, trying to get them out and screaming.
And everybody else, so she's straight going like, hold me back, without screaming, hold me back. But everybody holding her back. She was gonna go fuck them bitches up. We know where Bruce Leroy got his fighting attitude.
This is their business, and they're just breaking shit that's gonna cost so much money to repair. Yeah. And I'm just like, as I get older, I just watch these things, and I'm just like, how dare you?
How dare you, sir?
This is a small business. Where do you think they have the money to replace these things?
They don't.
Even though apparently the pizza is very popular.
Very popular pizza.
That's what the daddy said.
But Bruce Leroy comes up just as all the gangsta thugs of Sho'nuff.
Good job.
Leave. Just as they leave. He shows up, and this is where his brother says again, he's like, what good is your kung fu if you ain't gonna use it? How you gonna let all these people disrespect their family like that? I can't believe you, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
And that's the movie.
That's the movie.
Good night.
Okay, so here's a part I'm confused about.
Yes.
I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
How does Bruce Leroy Jr.
Mm-hmm.
get in touch with Fluffy Hair again? Where does he run into her a second time? Because he goes looking for her.
After he saved her.
He goes looking for her, right?
Well, they got her in the van, and he saves her, obviously. And then he must have been like,
oh, right, because he ran after. He didn't catch the van, but he caught up to him at the place,
at the office,
at the spot where they're recording or like showing her a music video. Okay, we're there. George Costanza.
There we go.
There it is. George Costanza showing Fluffy his mind-blowingly amazing girlfriend's hot music video.
Yes.
That she recorded. Most of what I just said was crafted using the ancient Greek art of sarcasm. Sarcasm. It's similar to sarcasm, except for that it's the exact same. So
it was bad.
It was not great.
And I'm just like, dude, you've got all these gangsters, you've got all this power. Why not like kidnap someone in charge? Why are you kidnapping the new DJ?
The host of
the show.
Who has very little power.
And I'm just like, blackmail a producer like a normal person and get your girlfriend.
She's female.
The producer?
No, the host.
Well, yeah.
Black female.
I'm so proud of that one.
Not really.
Okay. Back to it. What I was saying is, why not just
kidnap someone that fucking matters. Kidnap someone that fucking matters. What you're doing is not good. And he's like, will you put our music video on there? Will you do it? And she's like, no. There's no way I'm gonna put that on there.
But then she was like, it's not because it's not good.
For those of you who are wondering why we keep playing with this phone, our intern
is not here.
He's not here. To be fair, I haven't given him an address. Who's gonna hit play? Who's gonna hit record? Not the intern.
Not the fucking intern.
So George Costanza is like, we put a thing in there. And she's like, no, because it's bad. And then Kung Fu shows up and he Kung Fu's everybody in the joint wearing a masked ninja suit.
But then they rip it off pretty quick.
They do rip it off pretty quick. And then she's like,
that's that boy from before.
That is that hot chicken wing that I've been looking at.
The hot chicken wing.
I've been trying to munch on that hot chicken wing.
Extra hot.
That boy covered in buffalo sauce.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, I feel like that's how she reacts. Am I
That
wrong?
is.
Am I wrong?
She looks like she's about to eat him up.
The whole time she looked like she got the munchies.
I don't know who this actress is, but she got an assignment to look thirsty as hell, and she did.
And she did. She looked very thirsty.
Earned her paycheck.
So he kung fu's everybody except for George Costanza, who like sneaks away. Whatever. Who cares? And then he be talking to Fluffy. Ninja be talking to Fluffy. And when I say ninja, I'm talking specifically about Bruce Leroy.
Leroy. Okay.
Bruce Lee.
But then she was like,
Roy.
she's like,
Oh, I've got your belt buckle. I've got your
belt buckle.
medallion.
Come into my apartment.
Come back to my house. Come on in.
Come on in.
And
then
he comes in and he's just all smiles.
And she's like trying to lay some like flirtations down. And
I've never seen somebody come on so strong to someone who was so clueless.
is that the point where he's like, I'm not a master, and she's like, you look like a master to me.
It sure is. You look like a master to me.
And he's still just like, I'm not.
No, I'm not. I know, because I have to take that medallion to the master so that I can achieve the next level. And she's like, whatever.
And she never gave up.
She goes,
she
"What?"
constantly was just like, okay.
He's like, okay, but I have to go now. And she's like,
why?
Why?
I have this whole apartment to myself. What are you talking about, little boy?
Come on.
Another
couch, bed. What do you want? Like, what do you need?
It just felt so statutory.
Yeah, she did everything except for cup his balls.
Ooh. Don't do that, kids.
Don't. But that's where she drew the line. I guess
she did draw the line.
She did. It's important to have lines, especially
Boundaries
whenever 19-year-olds are involved. It's important to have boundaries. It's important to have lines. Stop winking. What is wrong with you? It's important to have lines. You gotta have lines. It is. So he leaves, and now he searches out this master of Harlem, who is in a shop that was designated to him by his previous sensei. He goes down there. There's 3 Asian men outside doing a dance sequence. He walks up and he's like, "Can I see the master?" And they're like, "Nobody sees the master." And he's like, "Por favor," and they're like, "No hablo."
Long story short, he gets in.
No.
I thought he did.
Shit, no. Not this time. This is dance sequence time. He gets poo-pooed.
Oh.
He gets in the next time after the second goes nowhere talk he has with Floofy, where she brings him into her studio this time to encourage him to be her bodyguard. She comes and seeks him out at his dojo.
Yeah.
And she's like, "I've been looking for a bodyguard." and he's like, "I cannot be a bodyguard. I am in training." And she's like, "I just need somebody. I need somebody like a hot piece of ass that know kung fu around me. You know what I mean?"
Yeah.
And he's like,
Wink, wink.
I am not qualified for this position. I do not know kung fu.
I have not given you my resume or not. It
this is a position I did not apply for." And she's like, throws her panties at his face.
I think she's basically like, "No, I don't think you understand. I'm looking for a bodyguard.
Someone to guard
my
this.
body.
Look at this."
She was basically breaking it down in such a way that you're like, she's not asking for a bodyguard.
She doesn't want a bodyguard. Doesn't care.
Yeah, it's
Certainly
so
wants
good.
something to do with her body.
And he's just like, I don't need a job.
She's like, "Just come by the studio. We'll talk about it. Please, please, please." And he does. So he goes by the studio. She shows him a lot of Bruce Lee films, which, he kind of gets into it. She has a montage set up where first she tricks him. She's like, "Look at all this kung fu." And he's like, "I do love that." And then she's like, "Look at Bruce Lee kissing this woman." And he's like,
"Oh.
Kissing." And he kisses.
Does that. I can
and then,
do that.
for whatever reason, someone edited Bruce Lee in a disguise into the end of this film. And he's like, "A disguise! How did I not think of this?" And he runs out of the room. And she's like, "What the fuck?" What the fuck?
God. The way he was watching all of that kung fu, and then she's just staring at him like, and then finally, the kiss, and then she did play that well.
She did good. If that's what, if that, and until the disguise,
and then he was like, "That's it," and then she's sitting there like, trying to think of plan C.
Is this when? Okay, so this is. We got a bunch of things going on. There's a bunch of balls in the air at this point. This is when a 12-year-old brother comes in, catches them, making nookie down on the floor. He gets PO'd and he like storms out. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then Bruce Leroy runs out to do his disguise. Then 12-year-old brother comes back in. He's like, "Why you gotta be with that man? He didn't even know what to do with you." And she's like, "You're a 12-year-old boy. What are you doing up there? You're gonna get hurt."
Yeah, get down from there.
And he's like, "Ah!" And he huffs out a second time. Now George comes back in. Okay, George is in here. He's kidnapping her. Boom, she's getting kidnapped. 12-year-old comes back in to say something else, Huffy, and he's like, "Get off my girl!" And then they both get kidnapped.
Okay.
Now we're back to Bruce Leroy, who goes back to the secret master's place with the three dudes, and he's like, "The master ordered this pizza," and they're like, "The master didn't order that pizza."
The disguise gets like conflumbled as soon as it begins.
Yeah. The master ordered this pizza. The master didn't order that pizza. The master ordered this pizza. All right, come on in.
Well, then they like rip off his glasses and hat or something.
Like, you know how to play craps? He's like, "I'll teach you how to play Harlem craps." And they're like, "Oh," and then he like makes up some rules involving hopscotch, and they all play it for a while. Then they smoke some weed, and then they lock him outside after he shows them the medallion. They're like, "Okay, I'll take you to the master." Locks him outside. Then he kicks the door in, and he's like, "You will show me the master." And they're like, "Okay, it's him." And then they show him a fortune cookie printer.
They're like, "There is no master.
We made him up to sell fortune cookies."
And then he gets a fortune cookie and doesn't eat it. Just rips
and then he
the
goes back
paper
to his
out.
original sensei. He's like, "Why would you send me on this wild goose chase to a master that doesn't exist?" He's like, "So that you would see that the master is inside you the whole time." And then he has a flashback to whenever Fluffy said, "You look like a master to me."
So he doesn't ever realize it himself. He just gets told it. So we could have saved a lot of time.
We could have saved a lot of time
if the master told him that he was also a master, and we could have just ended up here.
We could have already been here. But now that he's a master, he has to go and save Fluffy and his brother.
I have the strength to do this now.
I can do this. So he goes to his dojo where he meets his friend who pretends he knows karate and is Asian, and locks him in a closet. This is the first person he locks up. Then that guy's little brother, who is probably the only person in this movie who actually knows kung fu at any sort of reasonable level, comes and breaks him out of the closet. And then they go to they go to chase him down so that he doesn't have to do this alone.
Yep. Good job.
Thank you.
It's there.
They then they go to the place to do the thing. They go to where George Costanza is.
The studio?
Studio. What is like?
Is that where the studio
his
was?
project evolves? He's involved in the second one somehow. Like he announces himself as being in it because his girlfriend quits.
Well, they kidnapped her good this time.
Kidnapped her.
So I think they just decided to just.
They're just gonna do whatever.
I don't know how, but they did.
There's something going on. Anyway, there's a lot of kung fu guys, including albino Mr. T, in a place. They show up and they do copious kung fu.
Yeah, big like a big fight scene.
There's a bunch of kung fu.
Tons of people.
Basically it is mostly just a bunch of old people fighting this little kid that we talked about. This little brother of the guy who pretends he knows kung fu and is Asian.
Yeah, the only kid that they could get with kung fu skills.
That kid kung fu'd the shit out of a lot
But
of
you know
people
what?
in that scene.
You know what? The older brother, early on, he's like, I don't know, he was like training or whatever, and he's like, "I just realized that if you are Asian and you just yell and you
do some forms,
they're gonna get scared and back off." His plan didn't work in the studio. He got knocked out, but like in this moment, it did work. And you know what? I liked it because they didn't try and act like he knew a lot of kung fu. He said he did not know kung fu.
And he
was just gonna yell and make some moves up, and he did, and I loved it.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. This fight happens, and then a subset of the fight moves as George Costanza and Sho'nuff like kind of break off into a different room, taking Fluffy Hair with them. They kind of break off into like a factory setting.
Yes.
And obviously, Bruce Leroy chases them into here. At this point, we realize that there's something fishy about Sho'nuff, okay? Because he starts to power up and his hands start to spark and he's got glowing red hands and he starts to like hit them with like Power Ranger-esque powers.
Where did superpowers come in from to all this?
Kung Fu always has superpowers. Maybe you've never been to a martial arts competition, but hand glowing is par for the course.
It's almost like this, like with the elbow light, like why yada, hurrah, just like that.
Yeah, but like way more red. Ooh, I'm kind of red.
There you go.
But it's still more red than this.
Yeah.
So he starts punching the shit out of
Pow.
out of Bruce, but also like not that bad. And then we flash back and forth between Bruce's blood makeup being on his face and not being on his face, and then he gets really smiley and starts to glow yellow and suddenly wins the fight big time because he really registers that he's the master.
He's the last dragon.
He's the last dragon.
Apparently.
Then George Costanza shows up and like shoots him and he catches the bullet in his teeth like a fucking man. Then
I called that shit though.
Then like pulls him up on a little baby pulley so that his like tiny little legs can't touch the ground. And the cops immediately
Bruce
show
did
up.
that to Costanza.
Yeah, tiny little legs. And then the cops immediately show up and pulley him back down. And then Fluffy Hair kind of gets her way at an after party with
They end up together
Bruce
in a
Leroy,
sense.
and they're going up on a thing, and there's playing dramatic music, and scene. That was the last dragon.
That's the last dragon.
That's the last
folks.
dragon. The first and last dragon.
What did you think?
What did I think about the film?
Yeah.
Honestly, I was surprised how up our alley this thing was. I thought it was going to be a far more self-serious film.
It is very much up our alley. I feel like it had a big budget for how shitty it was. Like I feel like it should have had like.
Who paid for this?
That's what I'm wondering. Who actually
this isn't
paid
who
for
suggested this anymore. This is who paid for this. Who suggested it? Chris, by the way. Chris from North Carolina.
Thanks,
you,
Chris. Thanks for suggesting, guys.
This is apparently his favorite film ever.
Good.
Are
you gonna sit farther?
Do I need to sit further away?
Hey.
Who suggested this? Who paid for this? What is going on? What are we doing? Who paid for this shit, huh? Who's buying this?
But for all my Office fans out there, I have a hidden talent of calling out every single actor from The Office that's in other projects. So the Gabagool Italian mob guy, Grotti, he's in this.
How did you not mention that earlier whenever I said that George Costanza hired some guys from The Office to come to come kidnap Fluffy?
I didn't hear The Office. I just heard like goons or something. I was just like, we'll move on.
She's spacing out.
But I got it.
She got
I
it.
spaced out this whole movie.
I wouldn't have known he was from The Office had she not told me.
And then the guy from Shameless made a really quick appearance in this.
Yeah.
The main guy, the Henry something or other.
Yeah, he didn't even have a mustache. No mustache.
He didn't have a mustache.
But he was there for a second while they were fluffing her hair. That is when he showed up, while they were fluffing her hair.
Yes. And he was like, you gotta do it. He's probably the one that they should have kidnapped. He seemed like he was in charge.
He did seem like he was in charge.
He should have been kidnapped.
Yeah, but he wasn't.
Because he would never have fallen in love with Bruce Leroy.
Nope.
That's what they needed. They needed the woman.
They needed the woman. They needed a weak woman to fall in love with a 19-year-old boy.
And boy, did she fall.
Woo!
Oh, gosh.
There was so much lip licking.
Oh, for sure.
Like, she was into it. Like, she was big into it. Our intern's almost here.
He can press stop.
Maybe.
So who's your favorite character?
The guy from Shameless.
Yeah?
No.
All right, you said it. That's it.
I did say it, so I'm locked in, I guess.
That's it.
I'm locked in. I think I like the I'll just fake kung fu
That's
Asian
my
boy.
favorite character
yeah,
too.
I mean, he's got some good comic relief. I like the mom. So if you're gonna go with the fake kung fu Asian boy, I'm gonna go with why the fuck you fucking up my pizza joint, mom.
All right. Well, if you're gonna go with the mom, I'm gonna go with
Also the mom.
yes.
You can't do this. I'm trying to split it up.
Yeah, then you said the mom. I'm gonna go with the mom.
Pizza. Okay, so what? And this might be an aside, but I love pizza, and I'm feeling really pizza-y right now. Yes. And what kind of shit you eat on your pizza?
Oh,
better question. I don't even care what you put on your pizza. Is pineapple allowed on pizza?
Sure. But
yeah, I love it.
Not on my pizza.
I fucking love it. Why can't it be on your pizza?
I feel like I can have like zero conversation in this argument because I am strictly a cheese bitch.
You're a cheese bitch and that's it?
I just want a cheese pizza.
I mean, cheese pizza's okay.
That's all I want. I don't want no fancy shit.
Pineapple's not fancy. It's just a pineapple. Okay.
You don't just put pineapple.
Okay, I'm going to pivot one more time. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I've heard, and I don't know if this is true because I definitely don't know, but I've heard that a pineapple plant produces 1 pineapple a year.
And that's fun facts with Drake.
How is that industry fucking relevant at all? How are pineapples not $1 billion? That doesn't seem like a lot of pineapples per plant.
Is that true?
I don't know.
Because aren't the pineapple plants just like yay big?
Yeah, but they only make 1, and it's like right up at the top. It's at the tip top. It produces right at the top. Write in if you know how many pineapples.
That is a good question that I'm not going to look up.
Yeah. Write in. Tell us about the pineapples, and tell us if it is true that a pineapple only produces 1 pineapple a year. How are people getting away with throwing that shit on pizza like it's nothing?
It's not true. I am going to look it up. Flowers only once.
Ever?
And then it dies.
Ever?
And then it dies. Not even a year. It dies.
1 pineapple ever. How many years does it take to produce a damn pineapple? How are pineapples so cheap? How can I buy pineapples on my meager podcast salary?
Each pineapple plant yields about 3 fruits in its lifetime, grown 1 at a time.
Okay, that's what I was saying.
Yes, but
3 is still less than I was thinking. Where is this pineapple utopia where there are just millions of
Hawaii.
Pineapples? Is it? That place is not big enough for that many pineapples.
Dude, I don't know.
Tell us about pineapples. If you guys have any inside info on the pineapple industry, like give us the skinny.
I'm trying to look up pineapple farms.
Hit me with the fucking pineapple farm skinny. Like what? Look what?
That's pretty big.
I mean, that's a
okay.
lot.
So the plants are small. They are small, so you can put a lot in a row. You can throw a lot of them in a row.
Okay. I'm done ranting about pineapples. I'm done. I'm sorry. Sometimes I get heated. About pineapple, like pizza and pineapple. I love them. I love it. Guys, why can't people just love what they love? Why can't people just love what they love? What would you rate this film? How many pineapples would you give The Last Dragon?
I like cheese pizza, and you started to go off on that. Why can't I love what I love?
You can. Cheese pizza is great.
Love extra sauce, light cheese.
Light cheese?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, pizza sauce is pretty good. So that's just like pizza sauce
on bread.
And a little so you just like breadsticks dipped in
like
marinara with a little bit of cheese.
Like what I like.
Breadsticks, marinara, and cheese.
I like garlic. You can throw some garlic on there.
Yeah, garlic's good.
Okay, so I would rate this, let's say, 2 teeth bullets.
2 teeth bullets. Now, do you remember that when he caught that bullet in his teeth, both his teeth, the bullet, and the entire scene glowed as if touched by the Lord? So that's a really high score.
He went it shot him and he went, oh. And then he turned him over and he was like, good God.
Yeah, no, that's good. 2 teeth bullets. That's pretty legit.
Okay.
What
would you?
Okay, so Sho'nuff had some hair, right? He's a tall, lanky man, and he had some stuff going on up on top of his head. Now, I would give it about half a Sho'nuff haircut.
Okay.
But 3 feathered floofy haircuts. So
3.5
point something because I'm mixing formulas here and then some teeth bullets. So
4.
yeah, I think overall 4.
4.
4. Not bad.
Good
The Last
job.
Dragon. We haven't rated the Disney version of The Last Dragon yet, but because of that, on a technicality, this one's rated higher.
This one's better.
Something is better than nothing, everyone. And that's what you know.
I think so.
The more you know, you know.
Fun facts.
Yeah, fun facts with Dakota.
So
Hit us. What do you got?
when this film started, Julius Carry did not practice any form of martial arts.
Is Julius Carry
I'm going to assume
Bruce
it's the main
Leroy?
guy.
That's probably Bruce Leroy.
I'm going to assume it. I'm not going to fact check that.
Yeah, do not fact check. Please don't fact check. I would hate to fact check fun facts with Dakota.
This movie had approximately $10 million budget.
Who paid for this?
Who paid for
Who
this?
paid for this? What? Who had $10 million to throw at this project? Who gave that 19-year-old boy $10 million and said, act your heart out, kid. You got this. You're going to be the one guy who doesn't know martial arts and also can't act.
Yeah, we're going to give him a $10 million movie. So you remember that scene when they were at the dojo or whatever, and he's walking around in a yellow jumpsuit?
What was that yellow jumpsuit all about? Fuck that thing.
And we were all like, I was like, I don't think that's a thing anybody wears to do martial arts ever.
Go on.
Apparently, it was the same jumpsuit Bruce Lee wore in Game of Death.
I mean, it was the same one. I feel like it was supposed to look like it.
But I still thought it was very out of place.
It did not. Everybody else was in a very what am I trying to say? Traditional gi.
Yeah.
Everyone else was in.
They looked
a
ready,
traditional gi.
like in a
obviously,
studio.
when Sho'nuff burst in with his gang, they were in like some weird Harlem vests.
Oh, Sho'nuff loved to wear a football.
He was
shoulder
always.
pads.
Why was he always wearing football pads?
And he's just their whole gang was very styled up. They loved fashion because they were like in like leopard print camo looking outfits that with like huge shoulders and lots of styled jewels to it. It was great.
I think he always. Okay, so this guy was super tall, super lanky. Like, I think at some point they made the decision that he would wear football pads so that his shoulders didn't make him look like a bitch.
Had to, because at the end scene, the fight scene, he was like in a fancy, stylish tiger gi.
But sometimes you could see the football pads.
You could
through
see
it.
football pads.
You
underneath.
could see them underneath it.
They were trying to make him look big and bad.
Right. I think this guy was just a scrawny bitch, and they're like, "Okay, so we get that you're tall, but you're a little bit Yao Ming, and we were looking more for Shaq." So could you put on these football pants?
All right, let's shack it up, baby.
Shaka-shaka-tuck. Shaka-laka.
Guys, Denzel Washington auditioned for both Leroy and Sho'nuff. Stop.
Well, I'm super glad that he didn't get either part because
I
this movie
know.
was flawless.
Oh my God. Say hi to the camera. All right.
Okay, we just talked about Denzel Washington.
All right. I think that's it for fun facts. I'm sure I have more, but yeah.
No more fun facts.
3's a good number.
3 is a number, and that's the one that we did. Okay, so hypothetically, like what this movie was
Okay.
suggested
Yes.
by Chris.
Yes.
We talked about Chris. We talked about where he suggested it from, which is North Carolina, but we
Yes.
haven't talked about how.
How?
Like if you were gonna do the thing,
Okay.
like if you were gonna do it, if you were gonna do it,
If I was going to do it.
if you were gonna do it, or if anyone was gonna do it, how does it get done?
Well, I'll tell you.
Thank
I'll
you.
tell you. So go to our Instagram,
Mhm.
who suggested this.
Right.
And up in the top, nice little convenient link that has a little button that says where to suggest movies. You click that, type away. What?
I've got a thought.
Yes.
Now, hypothetically,
All right.
they don't want to get on Instagram. It's a lot of steps, right?
Yeah.
Like getting on a different thing and then typing in. It's kind of wordy. It's kind of lettery. It's got too many letters. Now, if they're watching it on YouTube,
Yeah.
If they're watching it on YouTube, if they were to just like,
Well, guess what?
if they were
It's
like,
right below.
if they were to like comment section something,
Well,
would we add that to the list?
you don't even have to go all the way down to the comment section. You just hit the more info and then nice little links.
Well, those are links to other things. But if they were to leave it, just if they
I see what
scrolled
you're
all the way
saying.
down to the comment section, if they wrote it there, do we care? Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Suck a dick. But also, you could write something there. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it
We'll
out.
figure it out.
Just suggest movies.
But
We
suck a
need
dick.
lots of holiday movies.
Mostly suck a dick.
We need Christmas movies,
I'm kind of
guys.
stuck on the suck a dick thing, but to suggest Christmas movies.
Jesus Christ.
Like if you could do like Hallmark movies. I
I really want to watch those.
The worse the better.
I love them. They're so bad.
Yeah.
I'll watch them on my own. You don't have to suggest them, but it'd be nice because then we could talk about them on here.
That goes for every movie that we've watched on this podcast so far for me.
Not for me.
I would have watched it on my own. I just wouldn't have thought of it because I hadn't suggested it to myself. is
You'd
where
watch
I'm
The
at.
Forbidden Zone?
I wouldn't have gotten all the way through it. I might have turned it on.
Might have looked at the cover and said, no, thank you.
Maybe later. Maybe next. Maybe next. Maybe next time. Maybe
All
next
right.
time.
So, yeah, just go on all of our shit and suggest a movie.
Now, the most important thing you can suggest things on, and the thing that we will listen to faster than snapping your goddamn fingers. What's that one?
Who suggested this?
Patreon.
Oh.
It's Patreon.
Who suggested this? Patreon.
Patreon, please, we're poor. We
We're
need
poor.
you. Do you know how much these movies cost? At least $3 a week.
At
Oh my god,
least.
I can't afford that with my day job. That's insane. And this is a different kind of job, which I also can't afford it with.
We can't even afford to pay our intern.
Help! Yeah, he's unpaid. Which is why he shows up fucking 3 hours late.
I mean, what are you gonna do? Good help's hard to find.
It's hard to find. Hey, buddy.
Hey, bud.
Hey, he did make it, by the way.
Good
For
job.
any of you following along with did the intern make it in time to press the no longer here button? He did. He could do that. He could do that. I don't actually know that he even knows where that button is, but
He'll figure it out today.
he's gonna figure it out or he's not, and that is how fucking show business happens, baby. Now we know how to suggest things. We know where to suggest things. We know what kind of things to suggest. And I'm fucking done. Bye.